Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Sean James and this is Kentucky, the mini truck state. On this week's video, we are going to be working on the Nissan just a little bit. This may be a quick short video, depending on what I have to get into to fix it. If y'all remember a few weeks ago, I got on here on Facebook and said something. I thought I blew a sub in the enclosure. It turns out I don't have a blown sub. I have something probably worse than that. So we'll get into that in just a second. But before we get into that, let's make sure to do all good YouTube things. Make sure to hit the like switch, comment down below, hit the notification bell so you get future videos. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. We still have the sub over here sitting on the Mazda that I haven't worked on in a while that we're going to give away. We're currently at about 840 subs, so that's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's video, my trip to Colorado to go sag for my friend Chrissy at the Level Trail 100. I had a lot of fun. I love going to Colorado and really can't wait to go back. I'm not sure when we'll go back, but I'll go back one way or another. But anyway, let's get into this week's video. So again, this Tuesday I was pulled over, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But I had a local business complain about my truck being too loud and making it where they can't do business when I drive by. Again, we'll get to it a little bit more later, but when I got pulled over, I happened to notice what was wrong with my sub box. So I had my radio playing wide open, and it was playing low tones and from 18 hertz to about 26 hertz, I think the song was. And when I looked back, I could actually see the baffle flexing. I don't think I can get video of it. It's too early in the morning right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, so my neighbor's down here. He's awake, but again, I don't want to be rude and just for a video. I could drive it somewhere and I guess show you guys. But I'm not sure if it's worth that either, but we'll see. We'll see. So on the passenger side of the truck, the 5 subs on the left side or the right side of the truck have the back wall is actually moving. And so that means one of two things. Either the screws have broke and the glue let loose, or the wood has ripped out and the glue has let loose. And either way, that means big problems because there's no real simple fix for that. I can take some angle iron and bolt it back together and make it solid, which will look like crap. And that is not something that I want to do. I don't think I have room around because the subs are pretty close to that back wall. So I'm not sure if I can even do that or not. The other issue would be I'd have to take the amp rack completely apart to try and get screws through the backside into that again. And that is not something I really necessarily want to do. I can do it if I have to. I don't want to. It's a lot of work to take all this stuff apart. Y'all have seen those videos in the past. If you haven't, go back and watch the videos where I reinstalled all that stuff, the Scar audio system in the Nissan hardbody. So the plan right now is I'm going to climb in there and take the 2 rear subs out on the passenger side and see what I can actually figure out is wrong with it. And once I get in there, get it taken apart, I will bring you guys along. But for the first part, I'll just get in there myself because there's really no room in there to get me in a camera and really film anything without it being pretty awkward. So we'll pick you guys up here in just a second. Why not? Let's climb in. So this is going to be fun. I have a 12-inch opening that I have to fit through. Yeah. Move the drill out of the way. And I'm turning the wrong way, so I gotta turn around. All right, we're inside the box. And there's no room, so hold on a second. As far as I can get it zoomed away. So this wall right here is where it's moving. You can see the line there. So what I'll do is pull these 2 subs out. Pull those 2 subs out and see what it's doing. You can see it looks like there's a small crack across the bottom. So it doesn't look like it's moving much, but it's definitely moving. This side over here looks like it's still joined together. It's hard to tell, but I don't see any cracking or nothing there. But this side over here is definitely moving. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm glad I did this, but yeah, so I'm inside my sub box. So while I'm doing this, I'll also kind of check on the subs. Since I got to pull these out, I'll check the other ones, make sure there's no issues with them. But yeah, we're in the sub box. All right, so I've got the sub pulled out. The box is loose from about where that Kenster ribbon is pointing to it, up to the top, and then back to just the middle of that back sub. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Be best if I could glue it and screw it, but the problem is that's all double layered. There's gonna be no way for me to get anything into that to be able to glue it. I'll have to pull 2 of the amps out to get to that. And I should be able to see from the backside where the original screws are at and just add more screws to it to pull it together. So it's not going to be a huge ordeal to fix. Not as bad as I was expecting. But I will have to unhook the power wires and get them pulled off there so they don't cause issues. So, but yeah. Let's get this fixed real quick. Get this video over with. Make this a quick one this week. I've got my bike rack on the back. Oh yeah, I put new struts on my lift gate or my lift hatch, so it actually works now. Yeah, here I can see what we're doing. So these 2 amps are going to have to come off. Probably actually this one would be the one I have to take out. I could probably get to it. But with doing that, I'd have to make sure and cover the power wire with something so it doesn't arc on anything. I can find like a leather glove or something to stick it in, tape it to it so it can't arc, cause problems. The ground won't hurt anything. So I'll go ahead and pull that 1 amp out and see if I can get to it. I'm pretty sure that wall starts like right there because it's only so wide. So other than that, everything's been playing good. We've had a lot of fun at some shows and stuff. Like I said, I want to go to Cars and Coffee this morning, but if I can't play it, I don't really want to show it off. And it's kind of a smaller event anyway. But yeah, let me get set up. We'll pull this amp out. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to go ahead and get my other heat shrinks put on here. That stuff finally showed up from Sky High Car Audio. I've had it for a couple months now, actually, and I can go through and finish all that stuff up and make this look a little better. So this is actually like not a blessing, but I need to take this all apart anyway to be able to make this look better. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just take all this wiring stuff apart as well once I get into that part of it. But I'll take off the ones that need to be fixed and we'll go from there. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the power wire. Yeah, take the power wire off and I'll unhook it down here. That way I don't have to worry about it arcing anywhere. That would be the easiest way for me to do that. And then once I get that done, I'll just do one of these at a time so I don't get them mixed up. And I'll get them fixed and finished and make this look a whole lot cleaner. So these 2 I know go to that. Yeah, so the other day I was talking about I got pulled over. I've had a local business complain about my stereo, and I understand that it's loud and it's more than it needs to be and it's annoying to people. So I didn't argue with the cop about it, but the thing that gets me is that it's a hobby shop that complained about my stereo being too loud. So it's a shop that promotes other people's hobbies, and apparently they're able to enjoy theirs. It's Kentucky Lake Outdoors in Benton, Kentucky. They think it's okay to tell people you know, what they can and can't listen to, stuff like that. So I've never supported their business to start with. I don't plan to support their business anymore, which I never was. So really no skin off their back at all. But I just think it's funny and so the cop that pulled me over said that they've complained multiple times, and he said he happened to be in the store at the time when it happened this time, and he told me that he visibly saw stuff shaking and ready to fall off the shelves when I drove by, which I don't believe that. It's true if they want to say it's true. You know, that's up to them. But you know, I don't. And I guess he said they've complained before about other people driving by being loud and all that good stuff. So I'm not the only one doing it. But he said definitely when I drive by, they notice it the worst. They said that they can't do business for 3 to 5 minutes because they can hear me coming from so far away, and they just can't talk to people because it vibrates inside their building. But I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. And like I said, I understand. I live in a small town, Benton, Kentucky. You know, a few thousand people here. So everybody tries to get along as best we can without causing problems with other people. So I don't want to be too big of a-hole about it, because I do understand. Like I said before, hopefully this goes smoothly. Didn't even put a screw down there. What kind of halfway job is that? I will have to find a screw to put in there. Guess 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Nobody's called me out on it yet, so. Oh yeah. Not bad. So, I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera. And that's what gets me. Like, look at all the screws that are in there. So, I mean, it's already screwed off pretty good. These star head screws are going into the box already. Those Phillips screws were short enough that they wouldn't go through to the inside. So, it looks like I'm going to have to pull this other amp off to get to that, which is fine because I need to wrap these wires down here as well. So, not a real big deal. I'll go ahead and pull that off camera and see if we can't get to it. It looks like this center wall brace is going to be in the way of that, so not exactly excited about it, but we'll do what we have to do. So I'll go ahead and pull it out, get those other wires unhooked, get them pulled off so we can get them wrapped as well. All right, now we got our trusty Inspector Grace here, and she has said she agrees with my assumption that the screws are messed up. We're going to try and see if we can't get a couple of screws pulled out. Is that right, Grace? You think we should pull some screws out and look at them and see what they look like? See if the screws look like they're broken? You won't stay still. Huh? You won't stay still. But you are getting hair all over me. She's a good Inspector General. She knows her stuff. She's been on base stuff for most of her life. Ain't that right, Grace? Ain't that right, Grace? She's a sweet kitty. Sweet, sweet kitty. Always trying to help when I don't need help. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? All right, Grace, how do I get back to it? Can I get back to it? Bring it back to it. So I've got it pulled out. Got the other end pulled out. Like I said, you can see the screws there. Those ones are actually going to the back of the box. So I'm going to try and pull a couple. I'm not sure if I can because this brace is almost dead center of it, but I can get off to this side a little bit easier. So we'll pull them out, see if they're broke. If they're broke, then we'll just probably just try and go in the middle of where these are at and just put more screws in, pre-drill it, and screw them in there and take care of it. All right, so we've got the A couple of the screws pulled out, nothing is broken, so that's going to be a whole nother issue then. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. Would that mean the wood's tore out on the inside? I stick my hand back there, you can feel it. It doesn't feel like there's anything blown out in the back. So I'm going to have to try and find pictures of when I built this box, which I have a bunch of pictures on an old phone. So I'll look at it, see if I can't figure out exactly what I did. I have a pretty good idea. I think I just screwed that middle section together. I thought I offset them, but it doesn't look like I did. So I'm going to go ahead and find my old phone, charge it for a minute, look at it, and see if I can figure out. And I'll pick you guys up back here in just a minute once we figure out what's going on. But yeah, I don't see any reason for that wall to be able to move. You can go in there and hit it with your fist, and you can feel it moving. So it's definitely loose. The top's loose, and that's not good because I cannot, without taking everything out of the back, get to that, everything out of the front to get the topper off, which that's something I do not want to do. But I guess it's one of those things you got to pay to play. And I've had very good luck so far with not having any issues. This is the first real issue I've had. I'm happy with it. I don't want to rebuild this enclosure because that would be an absolute nightmare. So again, let me get the phone charged up. Let me look at some pictures, and I'll try and share those with you if I can. All right, guys, I got on my tablet. I found the pictures that I needed. This is the picture of the back of the sub box when I built it. And as you can see from this line of screws right here, these are the screws I've shown you on the back of the enclosure. So what we'll do is we'll take pre-drill holes on either side of that and run some longer screws into that back baffle to help pull that thing back together. I've got some 4-inch screws we'll use on the back side of the panel, and some I think 2.5-inch screws on the front side. That way we're less likely to go through the front panel, because that'd be an absolute nightmare. So that should fix that issue. What I'll have to do is pull that top sub out and get some construction adhesive to put on the inside to seal the enclosure off again, because I cannot get in there with wood glue now to try and fill that gap and make an absolute mess trying to do that. So what we'll do is we'll just take and get some, I've got some either here or some at work I can go grab. We have a whole like 4 or 5 boxes in the trailer. So if I have to, I go get it and just put a beater on the inside, which I won't bore you guys with that. That'd be kind of boring to watch that. But anyway, once we get that wrapped up, we should be able to put everything back together, let it dry for a while, and we'll be ready to play this thing again. But hopefully that'll take care of our issue. I think what happened is I was screwed into the birch wood, and I think it's just kind of giving away over time, because there's a lot of pressure from those subs on that box. So a lot more than I expected it to be. And I'm kind of surprised that if I do this again, I will probably do some sort of a recess for those panels to fit in so they can't move once it's glued together. Or, put panels there to keep it from moving. But I could have done, but I still could, well, no, I can't do it because the subs are away, but put another flat piece on the inside of that to keep it from moving. But you live, you learn. If I ever do something like this again, I'll know better. I don't know that I will build another big enclosure like this again. I don't know, we'll see. But like I said, I got a piece of scrap MDF, and what we do is put this over top of the screws halfway and mark off each side, and that'll line me up with where I can put screws on those other 2 panels without going through the faces. So I'll do that off camera. I'll get that screwed together real quick, and we'll pick it up from there.
Show me.
Don't show you? Why not?
Because I'm fresh out of bed. I got out of bed like 20 minutes ago.
She's fresh out of bed.
No!
The camera's facing me. She's freaking out. All right, so the audio is going to be very bad in here probably, but I have found the issue. It's the front wall, the MDF wall, that has come loose. The 2 birch layers are okay. I don't know if I can show you here or not. But you can see where it's separated there. So the plan is keep those screws pulled out of the back. I'm going to squirt some glue in there. I'm going to clamp it together and just let that dry for a couple hours. And then I'll re-screw that section, and then we'll be good to go. So maybe a little bit of a break here. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's just this, whenever I put this together, I screwed the 2 layers together with short sheetrock screws, and they probably separated because those things are very weak. And I don't remember gluing this front layer on, essentially. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember gluing it on. But anyway, so the plan is I'm gonna go around the speaker holes and put some screws in between where the subs actually screwed together, and that will help hold that baffle together on the inside, on the outside. And I've got some 2-inch screws I can do that with, so that'll help pretty good. But you can see it's a 3-layer baffle. It's a 2-layer back wall, 2-layer top and bottom. So this box is pretty solid. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get to gluing and screwing. I guess what I'll do is I've got a bunch of little clamps. They'll probably just clamp it together while it's drying, and then I'll screw it together after it's dried. And I really don't have to necessarily screw it together, but it's not a bad idea. But let's get this thing fixed. All right, guys, so I'll show you what we got going on here. Oh, get comfortable. So I've got glue squirted in there. Try and zoom in. You can see the glue coming out. I was able to get it all the way around that top sub. It was dripping out of the bottom hole, so there's plenty of glue in there now. I've got it clamped down. I'm gonna let that dry for a couple hours. And then what I'll do is go ahead and fix those wire crimps, get all that stuff done while I'm at it. Zoom back out. Cancer room for my daughter, so I love it back there, really cool. And I always appreciate when people ask me about it. Have a chance to have a conversation with them, so it works quite well. There's actually glue running down the face of the box in there. I need to try and climb in there and wipe it off. I don't know if you can see it on the top. There's glue pooling right there between those two clamps. So yeah, I'm going to get a rag and wipe that stuff out, but I think that's going to fix the issue that we had, and that might be glue on the floor down there. I don't like that. Definitely need to get that cleaned up, so we'll get that cleaned up and go from there. Get that glue cleaned out of there. We don't have to make a mess. It is such a pain in the neck for me to fit through here. I'm not 12 inches wide at all, but I can get in and out of it and work on it. So the port walls. Anybody seen the inside of the port before? The inside of the box, into that corner. Even that's painted. Can't skip no edges. Make everything look nice. But anyway, I've got that fixed. I've got it glued. I need to get the stuff wiped off so it doesn't make a mess. And then we'll go ahead and get the wires in the back heat shrinked, make everything look nice and clean and finished, and be done with it. So, and then next week we can hopefully focus back on that console sitting in the garage. It's been a weird couple weeks. Had a lot going on. The trip to Colorado really threw a kink in my plans, but I'm glad I went and I had fun. I'm ready to get this thing put together. The kid that won the other console, Brandon Tilley, he figured out that it's not going to work in his truck, so he's actually going to give it back to me. Bud Calhoun is going to get the old console. I think him and Donnie are going to get together and make it work for his Nissan, for this little truck right here. So that'd be really cool to have something I built in that truck. Hopefully it works for him. If not, he won't be out much. I think he's planning on driving to Clarksville in a couple weeks. I'm about 45 minutes from there, so we'll find a way for him to either come up here or me meet him partially the way there. We'll figure that out when time comes. But yeah, having fun. Ready to get this thing done. I want to go boom around a little bit, but I gotta be careful. Don't want the cops called again. Wee woo, wee woo. Yeah, which I've discussed that a little bit, but I just think it's crazy for a store that sells hobby stuff to other people, tell other people that they can't enjoy their hobbies. So, oh well. Kentucky Lake Outdoors, you can be hearing me. Yeah, I figured the polite thing to do would be turn it down when I get to their property and past their property. Other than that, I mean, they shouldn't expect much out of me for that. What do you think? Maybe? I don't know. I'm too old to get in too much trouble. The cop was really cool with the conversation that we had. He was very nice, very polite. As soon as he pulled me over, he didn't say anything. He said, I don't need your insurance or registration, all that stuff, because we just need to have a conversation. I said, I'm cool with the conversation. I'm not good with the ticket, though. And the funny thing was, I actually offered him a demo. I said, well, why don't you sit in here and listen to it, and you can tell me if it's loud or not. He said, nah. I go, I'm pretty sure it's plenty loud. Walking up, I can tell you got a lot in there. And I said, well, I mean, how can you honestly know it was me unless you hear it? He's like, well, I heard you. He goes, I've been following you for like the last 3 miles, trying to get to you, and I can hear you the whole time. Like, well, that's pretty good. he finally got around a few cars and got up to me, and this is what it looked like. But like I said, we had a good conversation. He was very polite, very nice, and he understands that I want to be able to listen to my music. He said maybe just be a little bit smart about where I'm listening to it at, and so they get complaints every time my truck's out. And like again, I totally understand it. I don't totally agree with it, but I understand it. You know, we live next to the interstate is right there, the parkway, and you can hear traffic all day long. Semis come through at night. They always jake brake and make racket. Do I call the police every time that happens? No, I just deal with it. You know, it's part of it. You gotta allow other people to live their lives as well. Just because you get a minor inconvenience doesn't mean you get to shut down what other people enjoy, right? So, but same thing, fine line. If I push back too much, they can get me for other stuff, because there's definitely stuff in that truck that is ticketable. So I'm not gonna be too mean about it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna back way off either. So enough rambling. Let's get back to work. All right, guys. Well, I have the glue drying inside the cab, inside the enclosure. What I'm going to go ahead and do is start pulling these cables off in heat shrinking. I'm not sure how much that y'all want to see. I'll probably just like do like a time lapse on that, just to show it. Nothing really big going on. I'll have to wrap these on the truck, make them look better, and actually get some Tech Flex on there. I think I have some left. I'll have to look to make sure. But let's get this thing dressed up, get it done. We can go ahead and put the amps back in once we get these screws ran back in the back. You can see the marks that I marked on there to put new screws in. So we'll just run some new screws in on those lines. This back line here is the ones I've already got screwed to the actual baffle itself. The screws are sticking out to the middle baffle. And then this front line here is for that front baffle. So I want to make sure and angle those towards the back so they don't come out the front. But that should take care of all the issues we're having with that. So luckily it was an easier fix. Like I said, the two inner panels are glued and screwed. They're not moving at all, so that is good to know. I don't have to worry about those moving. It's just that front panel was moving a little bit, and that's why I was getting that slapping noise. So if all were moving, it wouldn't have slapped. It would have been very quiet. You wouldn't have heard it. So luckily, again, it's an easy fix. But let's get set up. I'm gonna pull these wires up, and we'll get this stuff cleaned up to make it look a lot better. So the only thing we really got to do is pay attention to which way these things are oriented, which I could just drag the heat gun over here and do it here, but I think I'm just going to pull them off, make it easier on myself, because just a few wires to do. It's nothing real crazy. So let's get this done real quick. Alright, so I've got the screws all ran in on the line. I've got all my heat shrinks fixed except for these two right here, which I'm going to do once I get everything put together, kind of get stuff out of the way. They're just ground, so I don't have to worry about them arcing or sparking or anything like that. So I'd like to go ahead and get the amps put back up, get them in place, and this will be kind of wrapped up. Other than letting the glue dry, I'm gonna let it dry for a few hours. I got a few other things to do today, so I'll just let this dry probably all day, and then tomorrow I'll come in and put the speakers back in, maybe later this afternoon depending on when I get back home. But yeah, quick little project. Luckily it wasn't terribly bad to fix. Be glad to know that the top panel or the inside panel hadn't come apart. It was just the MDF panel, so we're good. We're lucky. I must not have glued it. I mean, I'm not sure why, but I thought I did, but I guess I must not have. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and throw those other two amps in real quick. We'll get this tied together, and then we'll come back whenever we get ready to put the subs back in later this afternoon. What's going on? So now we have it all wrapped up, and man, does it look a whole lot better. Everything looks nice and clean. Got our heat shrinks on. Got the amps all hooked back up. Now it's just a matter of letting everything dry out, and we'll be good to go. So that took about an hour and a half or so to get all that stuff finished out, cleaned up, put back together. Tools put away, all that stuff. It's now about 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. So, quick little project. I still got to put the subs in. Like I said, I'm going to let this dry. I've got to go. I was supposed to go about an hour ago and do some stuff. I put it off, but I do have to get it done today. Got the subs sitting here. While I had them out, I looked at the voice coils to see if there's any issues there, if they look burnt or... I know I've gotten them hot, no problem, but they still feel nice and tight. And I think those subs are 4 years old, so they smell like they've been hot, which I absolutely know they've been hot, because when I play them wide open, and I've not had any issues with them other than breaking screws. So, and there was actually a couple screws in these that were broke, so I'll have to replace those, but no real big deal. But anyway, I'm gonna let that sit overnight probably. Like I said, I got some stuff to do today. I put it off and get done now, so I'll come back tomorrow and we'll get that put in, and maybe we'll do like a little cruise video or something like that. Take it back down the dam, we'll do some demos, make sure it's not having issues. We'll play lows instead of mids. That app I use is the DJ Ruscals app, and there's 3 levels to it. And I'll show you right here. You have the middle, or you have high frequency, mid frequency, low frequency, and then tunes and sweeps. So you can use that to pick which level you want to play at. Mine performs best at mid. Low plays like anywhere from 22 hertz down to 18 hertz, some that, even lower than that. And my truck just does not do well with that stuff. And those frequencies make very little volume anyway. It does really good from like say 28 and up to about 60, and even above that. So I've got a really good bandwidth with it for sure. But I just don't play low stuff because all it does is move air, which is cool, but you can't hear it. So, well, you can, but it's just to get loud on low frequencies, you gotta have a lot of power and move a lot of air. So, but anyway, thank you guys so far for following along. If you haven't already, make sure and hit the like switch, comment down below, hit the notification bell, all good stuff. Make sure and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can give one of these Scar Audio subs away. I've got that sub right there is the exact same subs I have here. So yeah, they're good little speakers. I think they're like $139 a piece, and we'll be giving one away once we get to 1,000 subscribers. And like I said, we're about 840 now. Maybe a little bit less than that by the time this video goes out. It just kind of depends. Last week we gained almost 20, which was really cool. I'm glad to see that. Hopefully we can get to 1,000 soon, and maybe, just maybe, we can get to where we're getting monetized. But I don't know. Even if I do, it'll be very little because I don't have a lot of views. My last video where I went to Colorado doesn't seem to be doing very well, which I didn't expect it to, seeing how it's a trip to Colorado. It's not mini truck at all, so it's okay. I needed a video last week. I wanted to put it out. I wanted to share it, and I had fun. But if it doesn't do well, oh well, no big deal. But let's let this glue dry. I got stuff I gotta go do, and whenever I get back, maybe this afternoon, I'll try and get the stuff put in. But we'll definitely pick it back up tomorrow. All right, everybody, we went out and drove around for like 2 hours trying to find a place we could shoot a demo video and not bother people. It is like 73 degrees outside. The humidity is really low. It's one of the first nice kind of fall nights in Kentucky in a long time, so a lot of people are out. So I wasn't able to get a demo video like I was hoping to. So we'll just have to end the video here. I want to thank all you guys for following along with this journey, with this little Nissan and all that stuff. I know y'all are ready to be back on the Mazda. Honestly, it's a matter of money and time. But once we get all that stuff kind of lined out, we'll get back up on it and get it ready. I'm definitely ready to work on it. You can see it's right there in the corner. Mazda. I'm ready to get back at it too. So, but again, I want to thank you guys for being here. I can't be here without you guys. So make sure and hit the subscription button, subscribe to the channel if you will. At 1,000 subscribers, we're giving it a subwoofer away. The stereo is playing really good, so everything seems to be fixed. There's no odd noises or rattles. It sounds a lot cleaner now that wall is fixed. So I'm glad we figured out what that was and got it taken care of. I think that's it. I think that's the end of this video. But again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure to do all the good YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Hit the notification bell so you get future videos. There's a lot of good content in my previous videos. Building shock tabs, airbag brackets, stuff like that for the Nissan or for the Mazda. Doing hard lines, building a really cool welding cart. I built a fab table, stuff like that. So please go back and check some of those videos out. My first ever video is actually at like 1,300 views, which is really cool. So if you want to check it out as well. Or if you want to, just binge the whole playlist. I've had a few people say that they've watched a lot of them and they really enjoy it. A lot of the first videos aren't as long as these newest videos. I tend to stick to close to an hour long. I don't know if everybody likes long form videos, but I figure that's the best way for me to share my content. If you guys like it, let me know in the comments down below. But again, thank you guys for being here. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, it is Saturday afternoon, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I don't know if you can tell. We got the subs in there. A little bit of pain in the neck. It's really hard to put them in there because there's no position that I can fit in there. I can sit up and actually get in a comfortable position to handle stuff. So it's one of those things where you gotta contort, twist, and hope you get it. I use 5/16 screws with a 5/16 head. It's like a socket head. That way I don't have to worry about the drill slipping off there. I can run them all in nice and tight. It has a good flat head on the back to hold the speakers in place. So yeah, now we got it fixed. I think we're ready to order pizza. And we go to pick it up. I have my wife do some recording. I've got to wash the truck. It is nasty. There's cops out everywhere today for some reason. So we may just jump on the parkway or something like that, try to stay away from getting in any trouble. I'd like to go down to the dam tonight and do like we did a few videos ago and just do kind of a demo down there, play some songs and record a little bit. We may drive down to see how busy it is. If there's not too many people down there, we'll go down there and raise a little bit of ruckus. So, but I'll make sure and thank you guys for following along with this journey. Maybe we'll have some of that footage. We'll see. I'm not sure. But we'll go ahead and just close the video out here. So I appreciate you guys being here. Glad we got back into some mini truck stuff this weekend. I'm going to work on the console during the week this week. I do have some after hours work to do to get caught up on bills from being gone for a week. So I got to get that kind of taken care of. But you know, make sure and do all the good YouTube things. Make sure to hit the like switch, comment down below. Hit the notification bell. Make sure and hit the share button. That helps grow my content or my channel. And make sure and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Like I said, we're giving one of these subs away at 1,000 subscribers. And I'm looking forward to it. To the people who are waiting on keychains and stuff, I haven't had a chance with everything going on the last few weeks. It's been extremely busy. I haven't had a chance to get stuff sent out. Like I said, it's all packaged up in my toolbox in the garage, and I kind of forgot about it. Now that I'm back, we'll get that stuff taken care of here pretty soon. I'll probably send it out the first part of next week. You may have it before this video even comes out, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you guys again. I do appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.